Good evening, everybody. We hope you're all doing well.
How's everyone doing?
Looks like they're all chattering away in the chat.
Hertz, let's go.
Okay. Mikey wants to know where I'm at. I'm right here. And of course, if in case anybody was wondering, Jonathan the Fish Guy is watching from the hot tub with his bourbon. So we hope everybody's doing there. No comment. Okay.
So what do we got on the show tonight?
What do we got on the show? What are we doing tonight? What are we doing tonight? I don't know. I figured we'd figure it out once we got here.
Okay. We'll wing it.
Well, I guess we could go over some newsworthy items. I did talk to Cliff at aristo-craft via email last week. And from what he told me, they're expecting the end of this month, May, that the GP60 should be coming in
with the electronics.
With the electronics, and that they're expecting like early June they should hopefully make it out to the dealers, the distributors. The one thing I wasn't clear on, because I asked him about a couple of particular road names, and he said from what he had heard that they had all the road names done yet, but it wasn't clear if they were like everything was coming over or if it was a partial. I'm still waiting for an answer on that, but it should be showing up here really soon.
Somebody said, what about the 13T?
The 13T.
I don't know what that is, but
I am not sure. Let's see here. Oh, I see Tim Stumps just finished loading up from the RLD open house. Fortunately, we missed that. I'm planning on going in the fall. You're planning on going as well, right, Nico?
Yes, sir.
I just talked to Robbie earlier today, and I asked him what the dates are going to be because I hadn't seen him yet. And it's going to be September 29th and 30th for the RLD fall open house.
I'll have to write it down.
Yep, I just got it like 10 minutes ago, so I don't even have it on the website.
Okay.
I did see on the RLD website, I didn't see a listing for you about the price, but he has marked on his website that he has the Bachmann 3-axle motor blocks in stock.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Let's see here.
People can get their old engines up and running if they need a motor block.
Absolutely. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, well, I guess we could go to the calendar here and see what we have coming up.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we have some shows a little closer coming up.
We do. As soon as I find my calendar. Let's see.
Jonathan will be there if it kills him.
He'll be there if it kills him.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he was kind of bummed he couldn't make it, but he had some more important kind of things to do.
It happens.
Yeah, I would have liked to have gone, but I had some stuff I was doing as well, but
yeah,
it'll be all right. Hey, there's the man himself, the manimal, Mr. Dan.
Hey, Dan.
If you ever get a chance to go up that way, tell Dan you want to go to the steaming tender for dinner. He's buying.
Yes. It actually was good.
Yeah, that was actually a really neat place to eat at. If you've never heard of it, look it up online, the steaming tender.
They have it's in an old station that was built late 1800s. Beautiful station.
Yeah.
And then you have 2 railroads on either side of the station, and they have a steam engine in the parking lot, and they have a diner car that you can rent out for special occasions.
Yeah.
A passenger car that you can rent out for special occasions. It was really good. And they sing was it I've been working on the railroad?
Yeah. Although we couldn't get Cody to go for getting his birthday sung to him so we could get free dessert. He wasn't a team player at all.
Yes.
So
it was good.
Looking at our calendar here over on our website, which is always, if you go to largescaletrains.com, we have the event calendar on there. And if you actually go on here and click into all these, I've got some further info and links to the official sites. But the very next thing we have coming up here is the Northeast Ohio Large Scale Train Show. It's going to be June 3rd. And I'll actually talk a little bit more about that a little bit further into the show. I got a little bit more info and maybe a giveaway involved with that.
That was a good show. I really enjoyed coming out last year.
Yeah.
Except for coming home. But the going out and being at the show was great.
Well, I believe they had room for like 40 tables, and they ended up with 51.
Oh, that's good.
And I think mainly that was because if anybody's watching this, Chris Dixon from Me Loves Trains, he's actually coming up all the way from down yonder to sell at the show. So if you've ever seen the piles of things Chris posts, I'm sure he'll have plenty of stuff with him. So something I just found out about the other day, I'm not going out to the Missouri, Kansas area, but there's actually the MoCan Garden Railroad Tour that's going to be going on out there. Looks like that is June 3rd and 4th. I think it might be a small fee to go on the tour, but it's very minimal. And it looks like they have about, I think, 16 layouts or so you can see.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We have one question here.
Yeah.
So RailPro vendors, there are a couple different RailPro vendors, and I know there's different people that do installs. Up at the Northeast Large Scale Train Show, there was RCS of New England who does installs.
Don Sweet, right?
Don Sweet. I mean, obviously, if you go to RLD's open house, Robbie does installs, but I don't know what you mean by a vendor, somebody showing the system or somebody that installs it. So I hope that helps.
Yeah. And if you, what do we got there?
Sorry.
Oh, I'm saying if you ever wanted to meet Jonathan the Fish Guy, he'll be running trains at the Northeast Ohio Large Scale Show.
You got to remember, he'll be in the basement.
Yes. The layout is in the basement, but it's definitely worth seeing. And if you're lucky, he'll bring his newly painted GM50 gold chassis system GP40 he just finished that he did a really nice job on.
You just got to watch out for him, though. He likes to stage on the main line. So, just make sure if you're going to run trains on the layout, make sure you watch out for that.
And yes, Chuck Lord, Jonathan wasn't there, so the open house was crockless. That's a crock, right? The next thing we got coming up, and I'll actually be at the convention for this. It's the Big Train Operators Convention, June 18th to the 24th in Birdenham, PA. And again, as I always mention, you do need to be a member of the BTO club and register for the convention to go. But anyone that's watching that's in the BTO club and is going to be there, I look forward to seeing you. This will be my first convention.
And that's in apparently they do they set up a loop around a pond that's there.
They're actually there's a great big pond out back, and they put a big loop all the way around it. But they also set up, from what I was reading and talking to Tim Stump about, they also set up multiple other layouts around the property, and that it looks like there's a lot of different things to do, and they've got a couple different train rides planned. I think they're going to the Strasburg Railway Museum one of the days.
I was going to say, you might want to plan to attend, but then I just saw that Larry's going, so forget it. Don't go.
Oh, don't go if Larry's going to be there?
Yeah, no, you don't want to be there. Sorry, Larry.
Also, and let's see if I can zoom in here as it was that small. The Midwest Garden Railroad Gathering is going to be June 22nd to the 25th. That's the Central Iowa Garden Railways Society. I don't know why I got pop-ups from Kyle on my screen. Let's see here.
NGRC and Russell Miller just posted that they'll have 60 layouts open.
Oh, 60 layouts for the NGRC. Wow.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Zoom that back out. Yeah, that'll be July 1st to July 8th. That'll be taking place. And then this very last one is actually, it's over in the UK. So if you're watching and you're from the UK, you'll want to check out the first East Midlands large-scale model railway show. That'll be July 8th to the 9th. Oh, yeah, you are correct, Larry. It's the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania, not the Pennsylvania Railroad Museum. I do that all the time. My bad.
Larry, it's hard working with amateurs. It's just difficult.
And did you read that one already? That they added?
No, I was gonna go there, but then you went to Larry, so
go ahead. That's up. So what, they just added 15 layouts post-convention to the NGRC?
Yep.
Wow, that's a lot of layouts.
And Tia just said that the track around the pond is 1,184 feet of track. That's
wow,
impressive.
That actually is. Wow.
Yep.
Let's see here. And one other thing I was going to show, anybody that was at the RLD Hobby Open House, and we're going to see if I get it right this time. My friend Michael Bulak.
Yay!
Yeah, there we go. Did this memorial car to give to Dave Weber for his son TJ, who many know passed away this year suddenly. But Michael did up this car for Dave, and you can maybe see a little bit in the picture. You can see there's some names signed on there already, but he actually left the top of it so everybody could sign their names on it and give it to Dave. And all right, I got it right. What do I win, Mikey? You're going to give me one of those tank cars you made, right? Oh, absolutely, yes. I don't want to forget Michael's better 3/4, Rachel, because she's more than half.
I was going to say like 80 or 90%, but
80 or 90%, absolutely. Yeah, Rachel's pretty phenomenal. So, yeah, I think he did a wonderful job on that, and from what I understand, Dave was pretty touched by that. Yes, Rachel Bowling. There we go.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I can't mess that last name up. I probably did.
Yeah, you probably did. I was gonna say.
Let's see here. Oh, I agree, Jonathan. She is way better looking than Michael. Okay, so get that off of there.
So do we want to don't forget to our sponsor.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we do not want to forget our sponsor, because
then he might not sponsor us.
He might not sponsor us. I'm surprised he does now. So let's see here. Give us one moment here. We'll show this from our sponsor, and we'll be back with our guest.
The following episode of Large Scale Live is brought to you by Splitjaw, makers of quality metal products for the G-scale modeling world. For rail clamps, expansion joints, bridges, and more, Splitjaw Products has you covered. For more information, visit their website at www.railclamp.com.
All righty. And last but not least, our guest, Mr. John Sacerdote. Hello,
hey guys.
John.
Hey, John, how are you?
I'm doing well, Nico. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks for having me on again, guys.
You just woke up from resting up from the Northeast show, didn't you?
About 30 minutes ago, yeah.
So do you go into hibernation between now and the next show?
No, actually, the big show we've already started. We just had our meeting Saturday for the 20 or so hotels that we take, and what it looks like as far as scheduling for. So it's a year-round thing. So scheduling for making sure we get all the tables together, and the police and the fire department and the ambulances and all of that stuff. So it's already started.
So we already got Dunbar saying fabulous first show.
Great. I thank you guys so much. But, at the same time, I really, first of all, I learn a lot. It really is different than our railroad hobby show. Large scale is just different. I think I made one major mistake. Not that it was the end of the world, because our first show actually was profitable. And that's a wonderful thing for us as a nonprofit, because all we're trying to do is raise money to give away to other nonprofits that have something to do with railroads. So we were profitable, not by a little, but by a decent amount. And I appreciate all the feedback, Paul. Thanks. And Taya, it's good to hear your voice again, even though it's print. But it was fun to meet all these people. And the big mistake was Friday, Saturday. We were listening to a lot of the history of the other shows, and they were all pretty much Friday, Saturday. But not in New England. They don't want to know about Friday, Saturday. So we had a very low number, and I'm never happy. So no matter what the numbers are, I'm never happy. But we only had about 350 on Friday. But Saturday, we more than made up for it. So our overall gate was 1,080. And total population, if we count all you guys that were in the show helping and all that kind of stuff, there was another 250 badges printed. So that was like 1,330 people altogether in 55,000 square feet of the young building, 250 tables, some great layouts, some great displays. I actually had a great time.
We did as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun and some really quality stuff. And boy, did I learn a lot about large scale, which I really appreciated. And it's going to really help next year. Yeah. We've already booked next year.
That's
It's April 27th and 28th. That's Saturday, Sunday. That's 2024. So the 27th, 28th. Now, one of the interesting phenomenon was a couple of the hotels said, "You had another show?" And I said, evidently you missed the several emails we sent you. So we're actually getting already quotes on better rates for more hotels for next year.
That's great.
So you said 27th, 28th. That's April or May?
Yeah, so I am really pleased. The other part of it is Elmer Young Building. We've already gotten so many requests for layouts and exhibitors that we're moving next door to the bigger building. I don't think, as of this writing, or this meeting will take all of it. It's 135,000 square feet, but we could take any portion of the better living center that we'd like. The office is set up better. There's more refreshment stands there. It's just a better building. So we're going to move to bigger quarters already. So that'll be fun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we're holding all the rates the same, admission, table price, etc. It just worked out really well. So we were happy.
Well, we did. We enjoyed being there and being able to be a part of the first show. So
yeah, I appreciate you guys being there. It was great. I see Lawrence's quote: "Parking was easy compared to January." Oh my God, January is really tough. And what we do at the January show is, we set up a single chime air horn off of a diesel, and we start the show with that. And there's like 1,000 people in line. So I said, let's not do that for the first show. But I've got a 5 chime that was donated to us, and I'm hoping the Big E folks will mount it on the roof permanently with we could drop an air hose down off any show that we have there.
I want to try and make it up for the show in January next year.
Oh God, yeah. If you guys just let me know, I'll make space for you. There's 1,500 tables at that show in 350,000 square feet indoors.
I've been there.
Pretty close to another 50,000 outdoor with live locomotives, and people bring their rail cars up and park them in the special parking lot right by the entrance and all that kind of stuff. So
we've been there. I have video of Vinny when he was a little guy blowing the whistle in the steam engine.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's.
You didn't have that ready so we could embarrass him and show it?
I didn't think about it till now.
I hesitate to talk about that because that it's such a loud whistle. They had, I think that the locomotive they had this past January, they had some other whistle on it. It was much louder, so it was scaring a lot of the little kids. But still, that whistle was going off all day. And people in town go, "Oh, the train show must be on," because you talk to the people in the restaurants and stuff. They know we're there.
So you got a recommendation there with better signage in the parking lot.
Yeah,
I do have to agree with Paul. I kind of drove around for a couple minutes.
They actually, for the Big E, when they have their Eastern States show there, which they call the Big E, they have tons of signage, and we need to make use of that to get you guys out of there, because in some of those parking lots you can get lost. They have about 50 acres of property there, so it can get confusing. It really can. I know a lot of the shortcuts that take you out the back, and then all of a sudden you're on the road away from the. Paul, if you email me, I'll send you some secret ways how to get in and out of the place.
Well, I tell you, one of the things that actually kind of messes you up a little bit is if you're using GPS at all, it wants to try and take you through places where gates are closed at. So and that's how I ended up leaving the parking lot to try and go to the banquet. And I'm like, oh wait, it's back inside the grounds.
Yeah. Here's the secret with that show. For the Big E, the car, when they get 1.6, they just had a record 1.64 million people over 17 days. They have 9 gates, and every single one of them is open, including a private gate in the back. Someone has asked, well, if we'll do the banquet again. Can I tell you something? The banquet was the best banquet I've been to. And we get like 40 or 50 people at the banquet for the big show, but we had like 72 at this banquet. Absolutely, we're going to do it again.
I thought that was a great banquet.
Yeah.
My favorite part was when Nico about ripped the apron off the buffet table, and Manimal was standing there, and he goes, I thought I was sitting at the cool table.
Not with me, ain't.
He goes, can I move tables? I thought it was a great time. A lot of
fun at that. So yes, definitely we're going to be doing that again. To tell you about a couple of other things, let me show you let's talk about some stuff we will do again, and stuff that we won't do again. And I'll get some opinion right here. So this is a first. Okay, we'll definitely do the drag and brag. That was fun. We didn't publicize the switching layout enough.
I didn't know it was there until it was being taken down. Had I known, I would have checked that out.
That's my bad. But it's up at our headquarters now, and people stand in line to play with that there. It's hysterical. So they like it. And we've got a small gig called Kids on Track coming up at the end of July, and it's going to be in Union Station in Springfield. Oh, wow. And kids, if it works out right, kids are going to run CT Rail down to Hartford and back, and it's really, you know what it's like? It's like a job fair for kids on all the different railroad clubs that are in the area to try to grab membership for youngsters. So we're going to do that again. I'm not sure about the white elephant table, but what we looked into. We're going to do.
I did like it.
I liked it too.
What's that?
I like the white elephant table. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you what you think of this, because here's what we're thinking of doing. I've never liked it because I can't do it at the large show. It's too big. There's too many people, and it's insane to try to keep track of whose stuff is where. Thankfully, the folks at the steam locomotive operations group took care of it for us. A division of New Hampshire. Those guys did a great job at that. But here's what we're thinking of, and I got the idea because of the big show, because we could never have a white elephant. And at the prototype meet that's coming up in mid-June, I run the white elephant table for those guys. It's easy because they get like 200 people. It's very straightforward. But here's what we're thinking. In Massachusetts, you have to, on anything you sell, including nonprofits, you have to pay tax, and you're supposed to get a tax number. And they're very good about it. They don't shut you down. They say, "Oh, you don't have a tax number? Well, let me issue you one. It's free." And then you just pay tax for that one item and that one event, and that's the end of it. But there's an actual thing in talking with the manager that was at the big show. There's an actual thing called casual seller. And it's like when you're thinning out your collection. It's like when you have tag sales or garage sales. You don't have to have a tax number for that because you're just trying to get rid of stuff that you already bought and pay tax on. So you don't have to do it a second time. So I'm thinking of actually selling half tables so that people have to tend their own stuff, because I don't have enough volunteers at the big show to run a giant white elephant facility. So I'm thinking of trying that. We're going to try it at the large show. What do you guys think? And I put that out to everybody. What do you guys think of that in place of a white elephant? And if you don't think it's right, then I'll go with the flow. But I love it when because I believe you had to give up 10% of your income. That's the equivalent of a half table, So and then you could put more stuff out. The downside is you have to be there to watch it, to be open with you guys. So
Yeah,
I like it. Ray, thanks. I just think I could, because we're going to dedicate at least 20 tables at the large show to try this out, and have a whole section where it's going to be because guys, well, at the big show, the table prices, frankly, are a lot more. But for a half a table, then they're only going to be about $80 or $90 at the big show. And you could sell one locomotive, HO scale, O scale, and you'll cover your table costs. So it'll even be cheaper at the large scale show. Oh yeah, and honestly, if you guys want, I think the rule should be, I don't care how many people are on a table. So if you want to split a table, however, and you want to do it, that's cool. The good part is you don't need a tax number because you're a casual seller. You're not going to shows week after week, month after month. So we're thinking of doing that. Thanks, Tom. We're going to try it at the big show. I'd like to see, maybe we do a little bit of both. I don't know, at the large scale. I can't do a large scale. I mean, a white elephant table at the big show. It's with 20,000 people there, it's insane.
Yeah, that does sound a little insane.
Yeah. Yeah, we couldn't keep track of it. All of a sudden 5,000 people want to put stuff on the white elephant table. What do? You can't. You just can't do it. So, but interesting stuff. So the steam up at the show, another item, live steam. I made a special trip to the fire marshal and explained it all thanks to Stan Ames giving me a lot of data. And he said, yeah, there's no open flame. Let's try this. And I talked to him at the show. They said, this is nothing. So we're going to have an indoor steam up again at the show. Paul, you're right. I'm just reacting to comments as I see them. They will all be in the same area. So it'll look like a white elephant table. It'll be exactly the same, but you're watching your own stuff. And then you could dicker with people, maybe get a better price, whatever. So yeah, they'll be in a designated area and it'll be labeled as such too. So it'll be interesting. So yes, back to the steam up. I thought we had good response to clinics. I'd like to do a few more clinics. Yeah. And I thought the raffle was a blast. And that worked out really well. So we'll definitely do a raffle and some door prize situation again at the banquet. So other than that, and I'll tell you what, I welcome all ideas. I'm sure you'll think they're good, but I might have some experience to say, that won't work because of the following.
So one thing I enjoyed was on Sunday we went over to 2 of the open houses.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had a nice time, even though it was kind of rainy and
exactly.
But we did have a nice time talking to both people that we visited. I don't want to say their names out loud, but
there weren't that many. And that for next year, I want to have a lot more.
Yep.
Now,
that was very, we really enjoyed that on Sunday, going and doing that. So that's nice. Yeah, that might be the.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry, one of the reasons for a Friday, Saturday, then you could leave Sunday.
I was just going to say. Yeah,
well, I was going to say, if is Sunday hours going to be the same as the Saturday, or is Sunday going to be a little bit shorter?
We're gonna cut out early, Andrew.
Okay, so that would probably leave some time for a few tours in, probably, or something.
Yeah, I'm thinking 9 to 5 on Saturday.
Okay.
And no later than 4 o'clock on Sunday. If we get enough layout tours, I might back down to 3.
Okay.
But no earlier than 3. So it'll either be 3 or 4.
Okay, that ain't bad.
Yeah. And I love the fact that the garden people were there with a pond. That was
great.
Now, next year, I want to have people selling plants there that go in garden railroads. I've already talked to a couple nurseries. They're in. So that'll be fun, too. And we'll have the space for them, too.
Yeah,
I always liked what club was that did the layout on the floor?
The Pioneer Valley Pond and Koi Club, Nico.
No, up at the York show. You know, when you first walked in.
Is that the southeastern?
Southeastern Valley, no, Southeast Valley Garden Railway Society or something like that.
Sure, it's not the southeastern Pennsylvania.
No, not Sepker's.
No, okay.
Sepker's was
the one that was like the bigger one on the floor.
Yes,
That's like the Washington, Virginia, Maryland, or something like that. Is it not?
No, they're in the back. As soon as you would walk in York, they were right in the lobby on the floor. They had all the mulch and the landscaping and.
Dunbar says Lebanon Valley.
Maybe that's them.
And Joseph says that's Turk's Club.
Yeah, Turk's Club, that one.
And I see we have someone saying about letting club layouts break down a little earlier than closing time next year.
Yeah, I'm biased on my opinion from the big show, because people buy tickets up until 3:00 on Sunday when we close. This is the big show now, the large, not large scale, but the large show, and we break down at 5, and people buy tickets up till 3, and they want to look around. So I struggle with closing early, so that the people that buy tickets get the full.
But however, if on Sunday you're not open as late anyhow, I mean, you're already kind of breaking down a little bit earlier anyhow, really.
Yeah, it's going to be at least an hour. And listen, as we try these things, this will be our second show. I said to the board of directors, I want to do at least 3 shows to see what the trend is going to be like. And I hope it continues to trend upward, because as long as it does, we're going to keep doing it. So
that's good.
Yeah, so that'll be a blast. I just see it growing bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm very competitive when it comes to this kind of stuff, and I'll
never noticed
to make it work. But I tell you, I had a lot of help this year. So and from outside sources too. So it really helped with pulling this off the first year.
Well, I know both days. I think I maybe talked to you for a few minutes each day. Most of the time you were shooting around and everybody's going, John, over here, John.
We had 45 exhibitors at the show. Multiply that times 10. And that's how many exhibitors, 450 at the large show. And we tease about, when you go to the deli and they have those big rolls that take a number, and then they want to build a now serving in my office for the big show, now serving number 52, because there's an endless line of people that just want to say hi. And I want to say hi to everybody. This year I made it a point, because it was smaller, to get around and try to talk to every single person. But, every time I missed a couple, because every time I went to that booth, they're talking with someone about buying and selling. I don't want to interfere with sales. So I'll just come by and try back later, because if you're in the middle of a sale, I'm not going to say, hey, stop what you're doing and talk to me. No, sell, so you can make some money, and then you're going to want to come back and all that kind of stuff. Michael, thank you. I appreciate that. That's what's going to happen with this too. That's just the way it is. It's been my I hate to say mantra, but that's how I feel about everything. That's or you could say, as my son would say, that's the way I roll.
Tia is saying the club was a Susquehanna Valley Garden Railway Society.
Cool.
SVGRS, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, they were on the floor when you first walked in, and they had all the plants incorporated in it. And
nice, yeah. I had visions of doing that ever since we first started talking about it, and our Pioneer Valley Club stepped up and did exactly what I was hoping and looking for, and they set that thing up in just a couple hours using pallets underneath the fake grass, the green astroturf, if you will. But it only took a few minutes, and it came out looking great. And they had a lot of plants there, but no one was there that would sell the plants that you could use in your garden road. Got to have that next year. So,
that would be great.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed. I know there was a couple of clinics on plants, and my time management was so horrible it wasn't funny, and I missed out on being able to catch it.
Nancy Doris did a great job on that, and Ted Curtin did a quick one about how to add a water feature to your garden railroad and everything. But Nancy's been around forever, as most of the people listening know, and she really knows her stuff. We actually had her come down to our property where our headquarters, and we have like an acre plus in the back, and we're just now breaking ground for this very aggressive garden railroad. It's huge, and it'll take us a few years for sure, but we've got enough to get our first loop of track in before the winter.
So we just had a question. So is this gentleman the show coordinator? So maybe you should just go over again who you are and what you do.
I thought his title was just Grand Poobah.
yeah. AKA Grand Poobah. Jonathan, I am the show director for the Railroad Hobby Show and the Northeast Large Scale Trade Show. So I'm the show director for both. The large show, which I've been doing for 21 years, is the largest train show in the country, both in square footage and in number of people and in dollar volume. And if you ever wanted to hear the story behind how I heard about the dollar volume of sales, I would share that story. So it's been a lot of fun, and I want this large scale show to follow along. And you're right, Dunbar. Don Sweet, who I've known for years, did some great part 1, part 2 clinics. He's just such a nice guy, right? So Manimal, thanks, bud.
The capital T.
So yeah, but honestly, the way I like running this stuff, guys, is I take every idea I could get my hands on, because most of them are good ideas. And when people say, "Hey, I don't like where I am, can you move me here?" I try to accommodate every single one of those to the best of our ability. That's why honestly, it makes me look like I know what I'm doing. I'm getting all my ideas from you guys. So I really appreciate that. So don't ever hesitate. And you guys can email me at any time, showdirector@amherstrail.org. I'll consider every single idea, because boy, I'll tell you, if half of them are great ideas, are you serious? Then we'll do them. Absolutely. And I appreciate your feedback on the casual seller, and that will be in just a single area. No tax number. You can sell as much stuff as you want. As you sell stuff off the table, have some stuff underneath the table, bring it back up, go out to your car, get more stuff. Who cares? Where the White Elephant table, I think it was limited to X number of pieces. I'm not sure about that, actually.
I don't think so, because I saw some people had a couple things, and then one guy brought in a bunch of stuff. So I don't think it was.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I know other places do, and that's probably where I'm getting that thought.
Yeah.
So cool.
Great. That is awesome news, and we're glad to hear that we'll have another large scale show for next year. And I don't know about Andrew, but I know I plan on being there.
Excellent.
Unless I have something catastrophic happen, I'll be there.
Excellent.
It was really a great time.
I'll show you guys the map of the new building, and then you guys can pick a real good spot.
I'll tell you what, though, that 8.5 hour drive to get there was killer.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The train ride was great. We took the train.
It was.
It was so nice.
I looked at taking the train. It would have been like 16 hours for me.
For the big show, we actually have shuttles run all day between Union Station, Springfield, and the train show. If we get just a little bit bigger, we'll do the same. I'll probably do one shuttle, but at first, and we'll do the same thing for this show. So you just take a train, and we'll bus you right over, and it's free, because it's usually sponsored by someone like Splitjaw, for example. That's a hint. I'm teasing him.
So we got Jonathan, the fish guy, said thank you for all you do.
I think it's underrated. I really do, John. I know you guys, are seriously involved, but I think more people have to stop whining, Andrew.
That's what I do.
I think more people need to know about large scale. You know, the one thing I noticed is with kids, especially. To me, I always say whenever I'm talking to people in interviews and stuff, there's something about trains that mesmerizes, that's magnetic, that attracts kids to a moving layout, train, whatever. I think it's more so with bigger scale. The kids, I think it's proportionate to, they go, oh, look at the size of that. So it's really, really interesting.
So I don't know, John. I was picked up at the station, and I mean the station to the show was only a couple miles, right?
It's 1.3.
Yeah, 1.3 miles, John. So it's not far.
If it's an Uber, and the fairgrounds actually has Uber drop points that'll take you right inside past the gates, drop you right by the buildings. So and pickup as well. But and the shuttle does the same thing. So you wait in the lobby. There's a designated area for the train show, and then boom, you're there.
Yeah, like I said, we got picked up at the train station, and then we went right to the show to set up, and then we went out to eat. So we were just driving around in that area. But
before you guys had me on, I heard you mentioning the steaming tender, and that's a half a mile from our headquarters. We're just another half a mile down on the right, but just a shout out to those guys because we've been going there for years, and they do a nice job.
I like the girls, the waitresses, and in overall
dressed up like engineers.
Yeah, and the engineers, and then they would sing the song when somebody had a birthday, or it was just great.
It was a birthday song to the tune of "I've Been Working on the Railroad," and they blow the whistle and all that stuff. Yeah, that's fun.
I'm going to put up the show. I'm going to create a banner here for the show dates.
Oh, yeah. I saw we had a question there about what the dates were again.
Yep. April 27th, 28th.
And I see Christopher.
Assuming for a minute, guys, that everybody comes back, and with the new people, there were 4 or 5 vendors there that were just checking it out. And in every case, they said, yeah, I want in for next year. So we're already up to over 50 exhibitors for next year. I expect will be probably around 75 to 80.
There you go.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you.
27th and 28th. And then I think, what are the dates for the big all scale show? That's in January, right?
Yeah. And that, believe it or not, I think, let me look on my calendar. I think it's the same date. I know there's a leap year involved, but we pushed an extra day. So, so let me just head over there very quickly, and it's the 27th and 28th of 2024, but that's January. Yeah.
Okay.
So
that makes it easy to remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what Manimal's talking about, but I look terrible in a dress and a wig. Oh, wrong type of drag race. Okay.
Well, I was like, what are you talking about?
Well, you know, I never know what that guy's talking about. You met him. Oh, yes. Think Railcar Pinewood Derby. Okay, that sounds better.
Oh, there you go.
They used to do that. What's the name of that hobby shop? Ridge Road Station? Ridge Station? They used to have drag races at the hobby shop. Train drag races. So people would start modifying the G-scale trains. And I mean, some guys started getting crazy and put in the model rocket engines in them. And
oh boy.
Wow.
Yeah, it got a little crazy.
I know the big train operators does some type of like drag races with the locomotives at the hotel, I believe.
Yeah, that's what Larry just said. That.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they used to, Train Fest would have Lionel locomotive races as well.
Yeah. Dunbar said GR News to attract more vendors.
Yes, absolutely. We had a very small advertising budget this year, but because we did so well this year, we will be advertising in a lot more places.
And then Larry said they were going to be racing with LGB flyers, I guess, like those fan-driven the Mars Flyer.
Oh,
and,
what is like the Fortuna Flyer?
Yeah.
Like that is.
Yep, and they had the Mars Flyer, the Fortuna Flyer. I think they even had one with Snoopy on it.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to next year as always. We had a
You
good
guys, I
time.
appreciate it.
Yep, we had a good time, and I came home with more trains than I left with. So
Yeah, I had the same problem. It's all your fault, John.
I blame myself.
I'm still trying to figure out where I'm going to put that 60-foot boxcar, but I'll find a place for it.
Well, let me just say to everybody that's out there, don't hesitate to email me. Again, show director at amherstrail.org about anything and everything trains. If I could help, I'd be very happy to. So, and thank you guys too for having me on. It's really a wonderful thing that you're doing, and I really appreciate it.
yeah, let us know when you want to come on next year to promote next year's show.
Yeah, let's do it around the same time as we did last year.
I think you were in February, right? February or
Yep.
March. Yep.
We'll give you a little preview of who's signed up, what the building's going to look like, and what things we're doing, and we'll go from there.
Okay,
Sounds
wonderful.
great. Well,
Thank
thank you
you,
again for coming on. We don't
All
want
right.
I know you got to run, so I don't want to keep you.
Yeah, I have to go babysit my grandkids. So there you
But
go.
don't run off, everybody. We're still going to keep going here.
Yes, we have other things to cover. Just
Thanks again,
John. Just John is babysitting, not Andrew and I.
Yeah. Just only me. Carry on, guys. Thank you.
Thank
Great.
you, John.
All right, we'll see you.
Yep.
Have a good one.
Bye. All righty.
I'm sure they're going to advertise the big show at the big show, the large scale show at the big show.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they will.
Yeah. When you go to this, so I just want to say one thing, and I should have said it while John was here. So the show he's talking about in January is all scales. So, any and all scales. The show that we went to in April was, it was supposed to be O through
S
through G.
larger.
Right.
No, above it was supposed to be like up to like Ride-on scales.
Right. Okay. So yeah.
The bulk of what I saw there was G. There was a bit of O scale, O gauge, but the bulk was G.
Yes, it was. It was G. There was a couple ride-on. There was one guy promoting an ice cream place that had ride-on trains, and I think there was one other ride-on train there. But yeah, it was good. It was mainly I was surprised that it wasn't, and I was happy that it wasn't inundated with other scales.
Yeah,
That's
I agree.
My preference. So, do you want to get on to the next?
Well, before we hop to that, I just wanted to play a spot here for the Riverside Club for their show that's coming up here June 3rd in Warren.
I didn't approve this.
Oh, well, I didn't ask. That's why.
No. makes sense.
And before I play this is going to be in Warren, Ohio, June 3rd, and we'll be right back here.
All aboard on June 3rd for large-scale railroading fun for the whole family. The third annual Northeast Ohio Large-Scale Train Show features 3,600 square feet of G-scale trains and accessories for sale, hourly door prize drawings, a large G-scale layout, and more. Concessions will also be available at this event. For more information, visit riversiderr.org, and we hope to see you there.
And I talked to them here in a little bit because I got to queue it up anyhow. I'm going to do a giveaway. They're actually going to give away 2 free admissions to the show for anybody that's obviously going to be coming, because it wouldn't do you good to have free admission if you're not coming. But we're also going to have another giveaway item as well for people that won't be at the show. Let's see. I was looking for one other thing here real quick. Help if I minimize these windows. Let's see. I'll have to come back and see if I can find it.
What are you finding?
But I was looking. They actually do have shirts for the show. They're not shipping any though. If you're purchasing them, you got to be picking them up at the show. And I had some info on that, but I'll look for it here and put that up here real shortly.
Just so you know, I take an extra large if you're going to get me one. Oh, let me rephrase that. When you're going to get me one.
When am I going to get you one? You want an extra large?
Yes.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
What do you mean, see what you can do? I don't get it. So you want to look up that stuff and then do the raffle in a minute, or do you want to do?
Oh no, let's go ahead and move on into your thing and
my thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to discuss next, and I hope people find this useful when purchasing trains. But so Andrew and I both noticed over months, years, whatever, when we watch people bidding on trains or people selling trains, they kind of go off of what they see is for sale. And some people are doing it just out of not knowing. Some people are doing it out of malicious intent, which I don't really agree with and don't like when people do that. But you have different versions of trains. For the most part, USA Trains has been pretty steady with their designs. A lot of the variations they have done are usually just circuit boards, which change LED lighting or the smoke unit. So nothing major involving drive units and things of that nature. Aristo-craft, on the other hand, had a lot of variations through the years, and that's what causes different values of those trains. So a couple instances are the FAs, which Jonathan loves. I know Jonathan is a serious collector of FAs. And then U25B RS3, the little critter, that little engine they made that was on a single motor block. The egg liners use this motor block.
Well, the egg liners never came with the older motor blocks.
No, they never did. But I'm just saying they
the
used.
critters did.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to switch my camera here.
All righty.
And hopefully it will. There we go. So what we have here, and I'm going to show you here. So this is the first version of Aristo-craft's motor block. Obviously, this one doesn't have a motor in it. I was using it as a dummy. That's what these are great for once they wear out. So this original block was rode into side frames so you see these pins that are sticking out on the side here. The side frame rode on here much like the USA Trains do, and that was your electrical pickup. It was mainly done through the side frames, pick up through the wheels, into the side frames, in through the wires, is what you see here. So let me see if you can see that in there. I know it's kind of tough, but there are the two wires coming up, one on this side. There's the red wire and the black is on this side. And this is what you could see in there. And my fingers are in the way. It's kind of tough to see.
Yeah, there you go.
Shafts going into the side frames. Oh, see, that popped out. And that's how these rode into side frames. These work great. Biggest issues was the pickup. Once the bushings that did the electrical pickup started wearing, you started having continuity issues, and the plating wasn't the greatest on these wheels. So
now, did you say those are two different versions you have sitting in front of you?
Yes. So the only real difference between these and this, you could see, is the black or the silver.
Well, is that actually metal or is that plastic in that one you're holding closer to you?
This one?
The one that's closest to you.
This one.
Yeah.
This is plastic. So if you see those holes in there in the wheel, this is a disc that has two studs on it that go through that hole, and then they heat staked it onto the wheel. So there are those two versions where at one point they were having that plastic, and then probably for cost savings they did away with it. Because you really couldn't, in the truck, you really can't see it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it always seemed to me on those blocks as well that the wheels never ran 100% true on those.
They do. The casting on them is not 100% great. It was their first motor block that not really the first motor block, but their first diesel motor block they came out with. And they ran great for years. Like you said, you do have a slight wobble in them. And then once the coating comes off, you start having continuity issues. So there's two things that could cause the continuity issues. One is the pickup in here if the bushing wore, which, you know, since this thing rode on the bushing, the top of the bushing wore, and then it wouldn't have continuity. So one thing you had to do is either change the bushing or rotate it. And is that why the heavyweights also have those two holes? Yeah, if you wanted the plastic in there. Yep, they had the inserts in them. So yeah, so those are the two connectivity issues with these trucks were that, and they don't have bearings in them. This is just riding on a bushing. So that was their first version of the truck. And as you can see, these do not have any tabs on it. So then we went to the next version. And this was the next version they came out with. And if you could see, let me find the right side here. Traction tires. So Aristo-Craft at one point had traction tires. They did one run with these, and I guess people just did not like them.
It kind of blew my mind the first time I picked something up with those on them. I thought someone had modified it.
No, yeah. I see, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He started upgrading FAs and RS to the wheel sets with Northwest Shortline. Yes. So they were doing, I believe, stainless steel machined wheels.
Yes, you are correct.
Right. And those were really nice because then you don't have to worry about the plating. With these wheels, whatever they use to plate them and whatever they use as the base metal are a lot better at electrical pickup.
So those are also the same wheels that are on the Dash 9s that Bachman's putting out right now.
Right. Yep. So these plating are the one. And actually, at the last run, Aristo-Craft was doing on the Dash 9s. They had stainless steel wheels.
Yes. Yeah. Because I thought they were all just originally plated, but then I did see some later on that they were stainless.
So that was the next run they did, and these also got upgraded with ball bearings. So when you had the original truck, no ball bearings, riding on just plastic bushings. And then when you went to these, they upgraded them to ball bearings. But I mean, it's much of the same design. If you look at them next to each other, you know, they look very similar.
One thing I want to point out, because I see people giving the advice quite often online when they have that old block that goes bad. People are telling them, well, just buy the new Bachmann ones and replace it. But there's a reason why that doesn't just work out of the box.
I'm going to go through that next.
Yeah.
So like I was saying, as you look at this one, there's no ears on the side. This rode in. That's why I was kind of bringing home the point that this rode in the side frame. That's what held this truck in. So in order to remove the truck, you had to unscrew the screws on the side frame, pull the side frame off, and then you could remove the truck. On the later versions, because you don't have the pegs to hold it in the side frame anymore, they added these ears. So if you look at inside here, you can see there's nothing in here for it to mount to. So this is one for this truck, and that mounted into the side frame and it floated. When they went to this design, now this screws into here. See, obviously there's nothing in here for it to screw into, so there's nothing to hold it. So what people do is I've 3D printed this part for people, or you could just cut some small styrene blocks and glue them in here and just drill a hole into it. So then when you look at the bottom, you can see the two screws in there.
Yep.
And that's what holds it. That's what holds the motor block in. There's nothing. Let me see if I can pull this one apart here so you can see. There's no shaft sticking in again because you have no studs on it, obviously. So this is what's holding the motor block in, not the studs on this version.
Now I'm trying to remember, are the gears the same in all the different versions of those blocks, or did they change?
The gear is the same, but the shafts changed, obviously, because this one is the shaft is part of the wheel.
Ah, yes.
On these, the shaft is separate, and it's pushed into the gear, and then the wheels are screwed on to the shaft. So it's a tapered shaft, just like on all your other engines.
Yeah.
Your Dash 9s, SD45s, the Pacific, Mikado.
But unlike the Dash 9, the SD45, the axle halves don't screw into the gear, correct?
No, these are pressed.
They just pressed in. Okay,
Yep,
that's what
it's
I
just
thought.
pushed in. And it's the same gear. It's still the same gear that they used in the older motor block. So, you can actually upgrade these if you wanted to. They work great also. Nico's still using a 3D print. So, yeah, I've 3D printed them for Cody at one time. So that's the motor block differences just in the FA, the RS3. So what I usually do when I see something for sale and I want to look to see whether it has a new motor block or an older motor block, I'll zoom in just to the truck, just to this part, and I'll look for that black wheel, the darkened wheel, and I'll zoom in just to that part. The other giveaway is there is a small stud right where my finger is, right underneath the bolster here.
Yep, they put a little wedge in there because on the sprung trucks
it's that lower, right? So
yeah,
now
you
they
had
to
the weight
lift it
without
up.
it, that'd be rubbing on the track.
Right. So they had to lift it up. So they added a little nub. So if you look at the comparison, this one does not have it, and that one does. That lifts up this portion here.
And to me, that's also why it's important when someone's selling something that they show pictures looking at the bottom of the motor block.
Right.
Because I can look at the finish on the wheels and tell right away. You can see the machine ones are smooth. They got a nice taper to them. And you can see the older one, they're more of a cast wheel, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. So you can tell by the color. These are silver, where these are the darkened black. So like even if they don't show a bottom picture and I look at the side of this, I could see that these are darkened metal. Whereas this one is going to be that shiny silver, and you'll either see the black sticking out. Like on this one, you'll either see that disc sticking out of the black there, or you'll see the silver sticking out, which is a dead giveaway. So for me, when I look at an engine with these motor blocks, I know it's one of the oldest runs, and I'll be less inclined to pay more for it because I know that eventually the plating is going to wear out. And like Mike said, if you go battery, there's really no big deal with these.
Well, I mean, you still have the brass friction bearings on them, which I know
Right.
you're not worrying about power pickup, but those will still wear and eventually wear through them if you do a lot of running.
These don't have bushings. These are plastic on metal.
You're holding it above the camera. Oh, there we go. I'm like, what are we looking at?
Well, I have the other camera going. There's a delay, so I see it, and then I don't see it.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So yeah, the plating will wear off, and you're just plastic on metal in these, where the newer ones have ball bearings in them. So that's why I put a higher value on an engine with these as opposed to the engine with these. So go ahead.
I was just going to say there were several other things I used to look at to try and determine whether it was newer or older, but I started to learn after a while that people make their own upgrades to things. There's different variations, and like I would always look, and if I saw battery plugs, I would assume that it was the newer motor blocks, but obviously people add their own battery plugs.
Yeah.
I also used to look at the springs that are in the side frames, because the older ones were always like the brass colored looking springs. The newer ones are always the blackened, but you do get people that replace springs and different stuff.
Yep.
So I mean, you can
Or
look at that
paint them.
stuff, but
People don't like the way the brass ones look, so they would take them out and paint them.
Yeah.
So that's just the motor blocks, and then I was going to go into the particulars of engines. So again, so the RS3, the FAs, the U25Bs, all came with the different versions of this motor block. So that's where you look at one as compared to the other, and you have a different value with which motor block it has in it.
Larry wants some professional demonstrators like on the Home Shopping Network.
Well, I'm sorry, Larry. The best you get is me. So in the FAs, some of the changes that they made. So the original FAs.
Oh, you just said FAs. I think Jonathan might have had an aneurysm or something when you said that.
Twitch.
Yeah.
So the original FAs had a very simple circuit board. Basically, all it did was connect power from, the wheels back to lights and trucks, and then you had some power switches that you could turn motor, light, and smokes on and off. They went from this to it still had, so that when they had this in it, it went through the two versions of the motor block. The last version they upgraded the circuit board, the smoke unit, and it had the updated motor blocks. So by updated circuit boards, you basically had the plug and play circuit board. So this has all the poly fuses on it, which were protection against shorts. You had the plug and play socket. And then you had more options on the rear board. So this is the rear board that replaced this little guy. And this also has the track and battery plug. So if you wanted to run battery power and radio control, it's already set up for it.
Not to mention the later runs, that they added more weight to those too, didn't they?
They did add more weight, and the last run had the lowered floors also. So one of the things a lot of people didn't like about them, and I don't have any here anymore, but you guys know I sell the lowering kit for it, but the floor has a protrusion, and that's where the motor block mounted here. And that gave the engine like a goofy ride height, kind of looked kind of toyish. And on the last run, they finally fixed that. They fixed the smoke unit. They put in the SD45 smoke unit. So one of the easiest ways to tell if you're looking at an old one or the last run
I was
is
going to say I've got the picture from your website here if you want me to show the height difference.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
And then, so this was the first run smoke unit. You can see it has a round hole. I don't have any of the newer smoke units, but the newer smoke unit, you could actually see, if you look in, you'll see this portion of the smoke unit. And that's just the smoke unit portion. There you go. You can see the.
So yeah, if of course it's not going to let me zoom like I want to, but I believe the right is non-lowered, correct?
Right. The left, the Santa Fe, is Vinny's engine, which is lowered. You can see how close the pilot is to the rail.
Yeah.
And you can see on the other side, and it lowers it 3/8 of an inch.
And the lowering kit that you have lowers it to the same height as what Aristo did, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And the kit I sell also comes with the blocks to mount KD couplers, or
Oh, okay.
to make it a body mount coupler. So when you look at them, if you see this top smoke unit, it's an older run. The big thing you have to go and look at is the wheels. And then by the boxes, you could tell. So the gray box, which was REA and then aristo-craft, and then the black box, which was then still aristo-craft. And then they went to the yellow box. And then the yellow box, by the time the FA got to the yellow box, it was the newer motor blocks. The other issue, though, you see, is people either knowingly or not knowingly will take an older engine and put it in a newer box. So you can't just go by the color of the box all the time. You need to kind of look into it a little bit more to see what you're actually getting. The RS3, they never really changed the smoke unit. So even though it got the upgraded motor blocks, they never updated the smoke unit. And the U25B, they never updated. They updated the motor blocks, but never updated the smoke units. But they did in the RS3 and U25B. They updated the electronics to make them plug and play. So that's the other giveaway, is if you see that battery plug sticking out of the front, it's usually hanging out of the front of the locomotive and the back. So that's another thing. It should usually be on both ends. If you only see it on one end, it may have been somebody that did an install. So like I said, there's a couple things you got to look at to make sure which version you're getting.
You'll also notice too, the earlier runs of the FA, the U25, the RS3, not so much the railings, but like the grab rails that are on them are typically going to be just brass. The later runs, I believe they were like an anodized black, if I'm not mistaken, Nico.
I think they're just painted, but yeah.
Yeah.
So that's those engines, and that's why like you'll see somebody pay $300 for an FA or an RS3 or $250, and then you'll see another one that nobody's bidding on, and you're like, well, why is nobody bidding on that one? And somebody's bidding that much on this one. Those are the differences that people are looking at, and that's why people are willing to spend a little bit more. Now, unfortunately, when people do searches on eBay and see what the prices of things that sold, they're not looking at these little details, and they're thinking that, oh, this one's worth so much more than they're thinking it's worth the same when it's not.
Yeah. I was just going to say, to me, the newer runs of them are more desirable to me because I just feel they're less maintenance, especially since the blocks are ball bearing on them.
Yeah, well, they're just more reliable because you don't have to deal with the other. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with the older ones because you can run them. And like Mike said, if you're doing battery powered, it's not a big concern with those. But you'll get years out of the older motor blocks, especially if they're newer, before you'll start having plating issues or the bushings are wearing through. But again, you're going to get more reliable running out of the newer motor blocks than the older ones. My wife just asked how much a newer box is. Never mind. So the other thing is Pacifics. So the Mikado came out later and had the newer drive unit. The Malay came out later, had the newer drive unit. The Consolidation came out later, had the newer drive unit.
Well, make sure you specify, because there were two different consolidations. There was the Delton and the Aristo one.
Right. So the Consolidation I'm talking about is the not the narrow gauge one that was the Delton. I believe it was a C16. I'm talking about the larger Consolidation, which was a lot of people didn't like it. There was the space in between the frame and the boiler, but that's the way that it went in. Somebody said the CAN motor block from a USA S4 fits the RS3.
No, asking can it? And
Can the motor block? Oh,
well, could you make it fit it with enough time and money? I'm sure you can, but they're two completely different sizes. I believe the wheel spacing is even different.
Yeah, I mean the drive shafts in the motor, because if you look,
the wheels are a lot smaller in diameter too.
Right. So if you look at that, you have a drive shaft that comes into this motor block and a short one on this side. So this side's longer and this side's shorter. And if it's not set up exactly the same. So, I mean, these things are all over the place. So even if you pick up an old motor block, you could swap it out into a new shell.
And anybody that's in the different Facebook groups in that, shoot, I can't think of his name right now at the second. The gentleman that machines all the Delrin gears, he makes gears for those.
Yep, he has the gears. I also have the gears for this or this.
I didn't realize you had the gears for those.
Yep, I have the original aristo-craft in stock.
Okay.
The ones that Hyro is selling are made of Delrin, higher quality, higher cost. Yes, there you go. Larry put it up there. But they are better. You're paying for a quality product that's handmade as opposed to something that's made in a machine. So.
Oh no, I've gotten a few of his gears in the past, and they are very well made out of Delrin.
Yes.
I will say that.
They are very well made. So then the other thing is the Pacific, which is another one that I see people, the last runs people are paying more for because they have the upgraded smoke unit, which means they have the SD45 smoke unit, which is this one again. And this is a fan-driven smoke unit, and it has thermal protection, so it won't burn out. So if it runs out of fluid, no big deal. Whereas the older stuff, if it runs out of fluid, you keep running it, you burn out your element, and no more smoke unit. So this is, my wife was nice enough to let me borrow her Blue Comet Pacific here.
Blue Comet, not the Royal Blue, right?
Correct. So, so first thing you can see right off the bat is all the drive gear is plastic. On the last run, they had metal drive gear, and
Well,
again,
some of it was still plastic, like
some of it is, but the main drivers, like
yeah,
here,
there you go.
So this gear, this driver is metal. This is still plastic, and then the connecting rod. Sorry, I'm reaching over. I can't see what I'm pointing to. This is metal.
Yes.
But the rest of it is still plastic.
Yeah, the parts that matter are metal.
Right. So that makes just a nicer product because it's not plastic, and it also looks better because it's the blackened metal. As you can see here, you have the blackened metal drive gear. It just looks nicer. So this again is the prime mover gearboxes, which are the same gears that are in the SD45, the -9.
It's the same modular gearboxes inside, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the prime mover. They called it the prime mover gearbox. SE8s, the -9, Bachmann -9 now has the same gearbox. I guess Joseph Lipinski doesn't like the Blue Comet. Is that somebody's throwing up?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if it's throwing up or throwing up a tear or what that is. But so this motor block is far superior. So basically, inside of this engine is the same gear that is inside of this motor block. It's a very small gear, and what they did is that the motor is on I want to say almost like a 45-degree angle up in the firebox.
Yes, it's like a 45 or 30, and it's sandwiched up in there too. It's kind of weird.
And then it has a universal drive shaft, and it goes to a really long drive gear that only drives these two wheels. Sorry, this one and this one. The middle wheel is not driven. It just moves along with the side rods. So whereas this one, all your wheels are driven. Each one has a gear in it. And also this one has flywheels in between each one. So that also helps.
I forgot about that.
Run smoother. Yeah, you have brass flywheels in between each one.
And the fact that the motor is straight line driven without that universal joint helps a lot too.
Yep, without the universal joint and all ball bearings. This one with that large, thin drive shaft, you have a lot of flex in that drive shaft, with Boeing. It's on brass bushings, which isn't the greatest. And like I said, you have a smaller gear with a helical gear driving it. And they tend to get worn out quicker. It's not as good of a puller as these because you have more tractive effort.
And if I'm not mistaken, like the really, really early versions of that, the universal, I think, was actually a metal universal joint. And then they went to the plastic ones later, did they not?
Yep. They had a brass one first and then plastic, which isn't the worst thing in the world. I mean, in the RC car industry, we use plastic universals all over the place.
The only reason I'm saying that is if you have one that has the metal one in it, I do not believe you can put a plastic one on it. They're set up differently.
So that's the one thing. And then again, so it was funny. I got this engine. My wife wanted a Blue Comet. I found this engine. I put a Revo in it, and I started running around a layout. And every time it was hitting a switch, it was bouncing and falling on its side.
I know all about that.
Every other train worked fine. So this is actually a first run Pacific, and the gauging was off by about a 1/4 inch.
You ain't kidding.
So every time it would hit a switch where you had the guide rail, the whole engine would pop up and bounce over. So I actually took this whole engine apart, re-gauged the wheels, and it ran fine for a while until, I started having drivetrain issues with it. That's what this drivetrain is for. This is eventually going to go under this engine.
And you have to do a tiny bit of modification to put the newer drive under there, do you not?
I will go through that. I've done a couple for people. I know Rex has done a few. Let me do this. It might be easier. I'll reposition the camera here. Okay. So as you can see, these wheels are very floppy. They're sprung. And again, like I said, this middle is not even driven. only this end and this end is.
One thing to point out though, Nico, on that older version, that actually would go around tighter radius curves than the new version did.
Yep, it would, because you have so much slop in this.
Yeah.
But again, you don't have as much pulling power.
Yeah.
As you did with the old one. So when they did this new block, like I said, the motor, it's going to be kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can bring you in here.
Oh, too close. Oh, there we go.
Sorry. So the motor, trying to get a good angle here, is up inside of there, which is hard to see.
If everybody sees the little bit of silver up in there, that's the motor. It's if you see that screw head that's right outside there, if you take those screws out, when that comes off, it actually de-sandwiches the motor up in there so it can drop out.
And there's the drive shaft up in there. So one thing I look for when I look for these engines, or look on these engines on eBay or wherever I'm looking or seeing an engine for sale, if I'm looking for one of these, I look at the plastic on the wheels. I mean, for the linkages, and then I also look at the wheels. You can see these are very black, whereas these wheels are kind of like a clear black. And you have the metal drive rods, which makes a big difference.
I'm trying to remember on the old drive unit, did the wheels actually have screws in the ends of them or no?
Yes, they were still screwed on.
Were they? Okay, I couldn't remember on that.
Yep. Yeah, they're still screwed on. So it's very similar to the way this one was. I believe these had a D shape connecting rods. Thanks, John. These ended up having a D-shaped end, whereas the newer motor block, this one has tapered ends.
Yep, just like on the diesels.
Right. So on a diesel, not a big deal if one wheel comes undone, but we did the show a while ago where I showed about quartering them. So if these come out of quarter, you start having a problem because you have the connecting rods.
Now, something else people will notice too, if you're looking at a newer version, you're actually not going to see pickup wires going to the trailing or leading truck on them.
Correct.
They stopped putting those on there.
Yep. Yeah, you didn't need them anymore. You see one of them's off here. Yeah, so you had the wires here going to the trailing truck, and you had the ones here going to the leading truck, which isn't horrible. I mean, they're not going to hurt anything. The more power pickups you have, the better. You could see I have a wire on the end of this one. So this has a Revo in it. Actually, it's in the tender, but I even put pickups on the tender wheels. So the tender wheels even pick up on these engines because, you can never have too many points of contact. So that's really the big thing between the Pacifics, the different versions. Now, some people go, oh, the yellow box. If you have a Pacific in a yellow box.
I had a yellow box, and that doesn't really necessarily mean what people think it does.
They did do one run of the older version in the yellow box.
And I had one of them, and it did have a plug between the engine and the tender actually did have the better wheels than that on it.
Yes.
But yeah, you can't. When people talk about whether, I don't know, always people have a different opinion whether it was a gray or a blue box. You got the black box and the yellow box. Obviously, you can't just go off the color of the box it's in because things get moved around. But
correct.
When we're referring to that stuff, that's what we mean. But
well, I've seen it where there was a gentleman that had a big collection, and he passed away, and the kids or whoever was handling the estate.
They didn't know what was there.
Well, they were putting them back in boxes, and so one of the things that happened to it was the engine had a Revo in it, and and it got mixed up with a tender of a different engine, and the engine had a Revo in it. So unfortunately, the guy that got it was trying to make it run, and it wouldn't work right because it was wired. Both engines were wired totally different. But it just got mixed and matched.
Well, something to mention, too, on the Pacifics is the change in the smoke unit.
Yes, I did say that. SD45 smoke unit.
Well, no, the main thing I was going to say is the difference in how you put smoke fluid in it.
Oh yeah, yes.
Because if you go to put it in the box on the front of the new one, it ain't going to go anywhere.
Well, it does. It just falls out the bottom because it's not sealed anymore. Yes, this was an original one. I have already upgraded it to this. When I did the Revo install and everything, I upgraded everything to be a new smoke unit. I put these things in everything. I Bachmann engines. What else did I put this in? I put it in my Shea and my Climax. I've put it in all the Pacifics. I had them in my U25Bs, but when I sold U25Bs, I took the smoke units out.
Do you put it in your coffee?
I don't put it in my coffee now. I'm trying to think of what other. Oh, my Atlantic. I put this in the Atlantic to get better smoke out of it. When I have a steam engine, I like to see it smoking because when they're not smoking, it just looks weird to me.
Now, on a different angle there, but do you think those smoke better, or do you think the MTH G scale smoke units smoke better?
Well, so people are not using the MTH G scale smoke unit.
Oh, they're using the O gauge ones.
They're using the O gauge unit in the G scale engine.
Ah, okay.
So the thing that's happening with those, and what some people do, is they're upping the voltage on the smoke unit, and they burn out a little quicker. If you run them at the regular voltage, the MTH still does smoke a little bit better than these.
All right. Did you have anything?
I know a lot of people that go to battery, and I usually buy these off of them because the guys that do battery, especially in diesels, usually take all their smoke units out.
I was going to say, was there something else you were going to show there, Nico, or no?
I don't believe so.
All right. I was just going to throw this up here real quick for the shirts I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And then I can also do the giveaway for that.
And if anybody has any questions on...
So what I was going to show earlier is for the Northeast Ohio large-scale train show coming up June 3rd. I believe you should be able to see it in the picture there. If you would like to purchase show shirts, you can. You need to email word3000@yahoo.com. And it's only if you're coming to the show, or if perhaps you know someone going that would ship one to you, because they're not doing shipping on them. But you can get shirts. They look like they're pretty well done. I think I know the guy that made that logo. I don't know who that could have been.
I don't know either.
However, as I said earlier, the club said that they would give away 2 free admissions to the show. And if you give me one moment here, I lost my tab for my giveaway. Give me 1 second here.
Oh, John wanted to know. Go ahead. You could start that. I was just going to answer John's question here. So that just stopped the motor, the screws on the end. Let me switch back to my other camera. Sorry.
Yep.
You're talking about these screws, John. Sorry, that one. Yeah, and as you could see, they did away with that on the later runs. So those just stopped the motor from walking on the gear, kept the motor centered, So if you tighten those too much, you're pinching the motor. So you could adjust that so you didn't have slop in the motor and it didn't chew up your gears. Yeah, if you buy I know Bachmann sells, so for anybody that's looking, Bachmann has these for the egg liner. I believe they're like $90. And you can buy the new version. And like I said, the only thing you have to do is create that block in here to mount to. And you can just use a piece of styrene. If anybody needs to know the dimension, I can send it to you. You could email me and I'll give you the dimensions of the block.
All right. And I do have that ready for the, I thought I had it ready. Where'd it go? Really?
If anybody has any other questions, let me know.
I had it all typed out and it just disappeared on me. So give me one more second here now. Let's see here. So there was something I was going to ask you, Nico. I'm trying to remember what. Oh, the RDC. Which block did that have under it? That wasn't the newer blocks,
Yep,
right?
that had the new one. Yep.
Okay. Sorry, one more moment here, everybody. I apologize.
I'm answering somebody's question. Sorry, too. We're both not talking.
We're telepathically communicating. That's kind of scary. Okay, let's see if I can hit save and not delete it this time. All right, there we go. So, if you would like to enter the giveaway for 2 free tickets, all you have to do in the live chat, whether you're ever in Facebook land or in YouTube, is put hashtag NEOLSTS in the live chat to enter the drawing.
To answer Kyle's question, no, there was no major differences in E8s. If anything, it was a slight circuit board change, but for the most part, they had the same motor block as the Dash 9 and the ST45, so there was no big things.
Uh-oh. I see Larry Otis is entering. He's going to be there, I'm guessing.
What?
Well, I know I'm looking forward to Charles from the Big Train Operators Club. I know he's coming as well. So I guess I'll get to see him. I'll get to see Larry Otis. I get to see Larry Otis twice because then I'll see him again at the end of June over in Lancaster, PA.
Yeah. You're a lucky man. Nico got robbed. Great. I can't enter anymore. So, yes, they did. Unfortunately, as you can see, they changed the plugs on the motor blocks. Like this one has the white plugs. One is a 2-prong and one is a 3-prong, even though the center's not used. At one point, they went to these JST connectors like this. And then the new Bachmann ones have more of a computer plug, similar to these, but they're all in one. So it's a 4-prong all in one. Taya said, "Poor you."
Oh, because I'm seeing Larry.
Yeah.
Taya, are you?
Place, is that really good?
Oh, Ray. I'm trying to think now. Ray, were you the person that was demonstrating the turntable and the transfer table for me on the modular layout at the show? I'm trying to remember now.
You're horrible. You don't remember people?
Well, I'm going to tell you what. I thought about naming off all the people that I got to meet when I was at the show.
Yeah.
I can't remember everybody's names. Okay, yep, that was Ray. The picture kind of tripped me off there. I'm like, wait a minute. Thank you very much, Ray, for taking the time to show that. That was a very phenomenal feature on that layout. And if anybody browses over to my YouTube channel, I've actually got a video up from the club layout, and you can see that operating on there. Andrew's getting old. Yes, I definitely am, John.
No, they never made a B unit for the E8. There was a couple people who've cut up 2 and, cut up 2 E8s and made B units. I believe Marty Kozad was one and Rex Ammerman was another. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure other people have done it as well. That's just 2 people that I know.
I know Paul Carr did his own because then he took the 2 A ends and actually made a I believe it's an Australian class double-ended 6-axle diesel. But I can never get Paul to come on the show. I ask him, and he always dodges me. But it's okay, Paul. I still love you.
I think Ray's trying to tell you you're putting on a little weight. He said he's enjoyed meeting you both.
No, I don't think that's what he meant.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Ray. I misread what you said.
I see John had a question for you. He was asking how hard is it to find new Pacific drives?
They are not common. Like I said, this one I ended up finding. This was actually a New York Central Pacific. I found on one of the swap groups, and the gentleman posted it as non-running. So I didn't know what was wrong with it. I bought it. I got it home. Yeah, I tinkered with it for a little bit, and I got it running. So that was a lucky buy. But yeah, you can find them, but it's it's hit or miss. I mean, I haven't seen. I've seen the drive units sell on eBay, and I'm sure they were going for $200 or $300 just for this.
The thing is, I swear I remember I seen someone here like a couple of weeks back posting that they found one of the new Pacific drives like at a
thrift store
or something for like $50 or something.
Yep.
That's like one of those 1 in a million finds.
Yeah, I mean, I was just damn lucky. I don't know if Bachmann's going to make them. I mean, as far as we know, the latest engine they're going to make or planning to make is the GP40. Now, every time I talk to Ray, and we've had Ray on the show, he said nothing's impossible. So, if you're looking for an engine, I would say the best thing is email Bachmann, and if they get enough interest in an engine, they'll probably remake them. And I mean, the Dash 9, great. They're already planning another run of those with different road names.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think some of the same road names and some different ones, if I remember correctly.
Well, I mean, they're doing Union Pacific, but the Union Pacific's going to be a different paint scheme, slightly different paint scheme. They're going to do Norfolk Southern again, but Norfolk Southern is going to do, be a little slightly different. So yes, they are doing some of the similar road names, but they're doing a different paint scheme.
I'll let the drawing for the tickets for the Northeast Ohio Large Scale Show go here another couple of minutes.
Yep.
And just to put it out there for, again, anybody that's a follower of Chris Dixon from Me Loves Trains, he will be set up at the show to sell. And I'm currently just debating how much of Jonathan the Fish Guy's money he's going to get, even if Jonathan says none.
You're going to be at the show also set up?
Yep, I will be at the show set up. I look forward to seeing anybody that comes. Obviously, it's a smaller scale show than going to like East Coast or the Northeast show we were just at, but it's like I'm going to say they're at about 50 tables right now.
There was a lot.
Tables. I mean,
good.
Oh no, go right ahead.
There was a lot of good deals there. I mean, I had no plan of buying anything, and I came home with some stuff. So, there was deals to be had, and there was a lot of stuff. There was, not stuff I was looking for, but there was a lot of good stuff there.
And I was just going to pop this up here because I see. Oh, sorry. Did you click on something? Oh,
no, that was go
ahead. Darn it. Keep scrolling on me when I go to click. I see Chuck Lardy put up there. They need to do some heritage units. And the reason why I click on that is that's been brought up several times. And unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see that, just for the simple fact of the minimum numbers for production runs. And the manufacturers tend to like to stick with stuff they know is going to sell extremely well. And I know there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to say, oh, well, I know people would buy this one. It's kind of hard, I think, for them to justify doing a heritage unit, or we could do Burlington Northern Santa Fe, and we know they'll all sell. Does that sound kind of right, Nico, the way I'm saying that?
Well, that and it's the wrong engine.
Well, that's the other part. And I think Ray even mentioned that when we talked to him live at the Northeast show, that there's also a lot of people that are very particular detail wise anymore. And, the Dash 9 is not the right engine. The USA Trains SD70 isn't the right one for the other ones. So as much as I would, there's several different ones I would buy in Heritage, even though they're not exactly right. But
Yep. See, Andrew said it here. Andrew B.
Let's see.
Any Dash 9 in a heritage scheme would be fantasy.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the one where he said about the Fish Guy's gold chassis unit.
No.
Yeah, they would be a fantasy unit. And all the SD70s
that's one of the reasons why they're not, they wouldn't do them. And then the others, like they said, they have to do a large number of runs. So
and John just put something else up there where he says about to just do a primer color with no decals. Well, what do you consider primer color, John? Are we talking gray? We talking black? We talking oxide red? And I imagine with those that there's still a minimum order they got to do. So how many, just painted, completely unlettered units are they going to sell? Or are they going to sit on the shelf? Again, I think it's a great idea, but I just don't think we're going to see the manufacturers at the moment go for that. Because did Bachmann even do any undecorated Dash 9s? I don't believe they did.
No. So it costs them, and it really doesn't matter whether it's USA Trains or Bachmann or whoever it is. They get charged the same amount whether it's painted or not. So for you to say, to get a basic color or a basic gray, it's going to cost you the same amount as one that's painted. So realistically, the only thing is you have to dip it, unfortunately, and they really don't sell because history has shown that they don't sell as well as just the painted ones. So,
no, and especially if they come fully assembled unpainted, now you got to remove everything to paint them.
And that's what they don't even, when they do it, it's. I've done plenty of paint jobs on people's engines when they go and buy an undecorated, and I would rather they buy a decorated one, because just trying to pull out the windows when you're gluing plastic to plastic, it's like almost impossible to get the windows out. But when they glue them into the painted, it's a little easier to get the windows out. The other thing is they shouldn't have put the windows in to begin with because it's undecorated, meaning somebody's going to paint it.
Yeah.
They should put all those parts in a bag. They could actually get away with less assembly.
All right. So I will go ahead and do the drawing here for the tickets for the Northeast Ohio Large Scale Show. Let's see. I just got to switch what I'm sharing here. Let's see. Share the right window. And I see Jonathan, the fish guy, in the chat. I wonder if he's still in the hot tub or not.
No.
He's probably all pruned up right now if he is.
I didn't need that visual.
Your fingers don't get all pruned up when you're in the water too long?
Oh, yes. I didn't really need to think of Jonathan in the hot tub for too long.
Oh, okay. All right. So
yes, TMI. Exactly. Thank you.
Sorry about that, Brian. All right. So we'll do the drawing for this. And like I said, we're going to actually do another one after this for people that won't be able to make it to the show. So let's see who's going to win 2 free tickets to the Northeast Ohio show.
Who is it?
We know it's not going to be Nico.
Yep. Oh, I thought it was going to be Larry.
Oh, Larry got robbed like Nico.
Larry got robbed.
Okay, so I'm not sure who that is, JHCHG. If you want to send me an email, to info@largescaletrains.com with your name and that, so that I can give that to the club. Jex, is that what you said?
Jex? I don't know who Jex is. Do you know Jex?
Yeah, so info@largescaletrains.com, or if you go to our website, you can just click contact. But send me some info, your first and last name, and that, so I can hand that off to the club. They'll want to see your ID when you get there, because if not, everybody just be saying, "Hey, I won the free tickets."
And
hey.
Just so you know, a special event.
Oh.
Jonathan the Fish Guy will be signing autographs. So I mean that makes it worth going.
So just make sure that if you're getting something signed, bring your aristo-craft FA with you. Jonathan will sign every one of them.
Yes. Now I want to go because he's going to sign. He's going to be signing autographs.
Okay, not Jex, Jed.
Yes.
All right. Yep. Just shoot me an email, Jed, with your info, and I will hand that over to the club. And let's see. And the chat's scrolling around. No, Jonathan, you can't sign with your sledgehammer. That's not nice. Be nice now. Okay, so
does anybody have any questions on the motor blocks or any other of the variations? And yes, John, I have the rest of the parts to the Blue Comet. They are off because they were in the box due to me moving. So I do have all the detail parts. I just dug this out to do the show tonight. But thanks for asking.
So what's our other giveaway going to be, Nico? What do we have?
We want to do that now?
Well, I figure we at least announce it, and then I can, put the stuff up there for it.
So I have one of my freight lowering kits. So this is for the 40-foot box car, stock car, flat car. Here, I'll take one out so you can see it better. This lowers the car and gives you the KD mounts. And you get a pair of those.
And you also have a video on your website, and those are pretty simple to put on, although I have yet to ever do mine yet. I just figured I'd get that out there before you said it.
Yep. What smoke unit was that you hold up? If you're talking about, where did I put it? There it is. Are you referring to this smoke unit? This is the smoke unit that was in aristo-craft SD45 E8, the last run of the FAs, Dash 9, Pacific, Mikado, the last run of the Pacific, the Mikado, Consolidation. So they're available. You can find them online. I have a stock of them. If you need one, you can message me.
Okay. So I will go ahead and put this up here. If you would like to enter to win a set of the lowering bolsters that Nico produces, just enter hashtag 4track in the live chat, again in Facebook or YouTube land.
GP40, yes, Kyle, thank you.
Well, no, I like the Infinity Hobby Channel's one, hashtag free GM50. You just have to go to the Northeast Ohio show to pick it up from Jonathan. He's giving it away, I heard. Just kidding. Don't do that.
Gaudy Gold engine.
Let's see here. And now that I'm saying that, let's see.
What's the advantage to lower in a car, and what would you do with all that you are running together? So the advantage of that, it's more prototypical looking. So on the last run of the aristo-craft cars, again, they were lower. So that's just a look. And then if you use these, you also get if you do body mount couplers, it already has the pad on it to mount the couplers to right at the right height.
Yeah, I wish I had a picture of them in front of me at the moment, but You know, the non-lowered ones almost kind of look like an off-road vehicle to me. They sit
yeah.
up there pretty well.
It's about 5/16 of an inch that it lowers it. So if you're doing body mounts, like I said, it automatically body mounts it to the KD height. If you're doing truck mount couplers, you just don't use the body mount function on it, and it won't change the height of your coupler on the trucks.
Yeah.
James J. Holloway, you forgot the hashtag.
Oh. Yeah, make sure you put a hashtag in front of that. It's hashtag 4track.
I hope that answered your question, Kenneth. If not, I can explain further.
And actually, as I'm looking through here, I see I see Wigwag Workshop. I'm hoping you're coming up to the show June 3rd, Wigwag. Let me know if I need to send you a reminder each day 5 days in advance so you don't forget.
Forget what?
To come up to the Northeast Ohio show. Wigwag lives in Southern Ohio, if I'm not mistaken. I have yet to meet him in person. I keep hoping I'll get a chance to here one day. It's like we still got the entries going on that giveaway. So
yeah.
But I was trying to look for something here. Where the heck did it go?
I don't know. What are you looking for?
I don't want to say. I don't want to give the surprise away.
Yeah. And then again, as always, we're always looking for ideas for shows. If you want to be a guest on here, let us know. And
if you just go to our website, largescaletrains.com, you can go to the contact section there. It is info@largescaletrains.com, obviously, but we're always open to anybody reaching out to contact us. Something else I'll point out, because I know a lot of people don't realize it. I know a lot of times YouTube notifications and different things, people tend to miss when things are coming up. If you go to the website, you go to the menu at the top, there is a subscription link in there for a newsletter that I send out. I send it out the morning of the live stream. So if you would like to get an email reminder the morning of the live stream sent to you, if you go to the site and sign up for it, when I send that out the day of the show, you'll get an email to remind you the show is going to be on, along with obviously the link to it.
I know John wanted me to cover removing the smoke box on these things too. Oh, there you go. How about a recap of the NGRC and the PTOC? I agree. Yeah, we should do better. I mean, we do the live stream from the show. I don't know. Would people want to see? And I mean, this is a question for you guys in the audience. Would you want to see another recap of pictures of the show and things of that nature, or do you not want us to? Because we do the live stream from the show. Would you rather we not do that?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
John, if I can get him to come on, I'll have. We could have Vinny on again. He's been doing a lot of kit bashing and scratch building. I'm jealous. He has more time than I have.
Larry says they'll both be at the end of June.
Possible subject for July. But yeah, I don't know. Are you going to do a live stream from the show, though? So
well, the NGRC is the beginning of July, if I looked at my calendar correctly, right? Yeah, July 1st through the 8th is the NGRC. Yeah, I still have to. I'm obviously not, and Nico's not going to be out at the NGRC, but we were talking to Colin Camarillo a little bit, since obviously he's out there and part of the club out there, about possibly doing some coverage for us for that. So I still have to talk to him some more about that. yeah, I guess that's something we have to ponder. I mean, if people like to see a recap of stuff, why not?
Yeah, that's like I said. We want to do what you guys want to see. So that's why we're always looking for suggestions and topics to cover and anything like that. Hey, Vinny, I don't know if you're watching in your room, but do you want to come on the show again and show some of your stuff?
So what I wanted to show was this nice picture of Jonathan the Fish Guy's GM50 that he just finished painting. I believe that was a Western Maryland. Anyone that's a Western Maryland fan, please don't cry. But Jonathan stripped that down. I can't remember who did the decals for him, because obviously Stan Cedarleaf isn't around anymore. I think it was Shawmut Car Shops that did the decals for him. But that actually came out really, really nice. And if you browse over to Jonathan's channel, he's actually got a series of videos on going through and doing that. And the nice thing with Jonathan's videos is he doesn't cut out when things go wrong. So you'll see some of the oopsies that he had and work through them. Yep, there's Jonathan there.
Yep.
Yes, it was Shawmut that did the decals for him. See the Infinity Hobby Channels likes the GM50. I have to admit, I was very much against him stripping the Western Maryland unit, but that is a very nice looking engine. And I never realized until he started looking at this that they actually did that. I remember years ago in HO scale seeing the Bachmann Gold Spike set that or Golden Spike set, I think it was, that had that in it. And at the time, I always thought it was a fantasy engine. But yeah, that came out really, really nice. Again, go over and check out his channel. You can see his videos on that. Oop.
He's very proud of it.
Yeah, he did. He did an excellent job on that.
Oh, stop stroking his ego.
Oh, he needs it. He's going to have to get out of that hot tub eventually tonight. So, with
Very nice job, John. I hope we, Jonathan, I hope we see that. I hope you bring that to Robbie's.
Yeah, bring it in the fall. Well, yeah, bring it in the fall, but don't fall with it. Yeah.
Yes.
Don't run it in high winds either.
You want to see? I can show. Paul is asking, I'd like to see how you got a rectangular Aristo smoke unit in the Bachmann chaise. I can show that.
Okay. It looks like we've had our entries for the lowering bolsters slow down. So let me.
Somebody had a question on that picture you had up. Which model is on the right?
Which model is on? Oh, hang on. Let me grab that again.
Let's not talk about that. I guess John actually did fall at RLDs once.
Well, yeah. His
He said don't talk about it. He said don't talk.
His Rail Pro remote was okay, just his ego got hurt.
Oh.
Let's see here. Where'd they go? Oh, no. There we go. So what was the model on the right? That's another Aristo GP40. Actually, all three of them that you see in that shot there, the B&O behind it is also an Aristo GP40. And I don't have the picture in front of me, but he does have another Western Maryland unit as well that actually makes a very nice lash up. Let's see. I see Mark Bartle's asking, how about signals and signal detection? Well, if anybody caught our second shorter live stream from the Northeast show, our sponsor, David from Splitjaw, is actually starting to carry signals as part of his lineup for Splitjaw now. That actually, I believe it's using not infrared sensors, or am I saying that wrong?
I believe it was infrared.
Infrared or light, however that works. But if you, again, look in the playlist on my channel, or if you're on the large scale website, just go to the archives, you'll see it in there. He actually demonstrated the signals for us, and they actually all work very nicely. But I'm sure at some point we can get him to come on the show Originally, he was going to be on tonight, but he had some other things that came up. But I'm sure we'll get him at some point this year to come on the show. Let's see here.
Well,
So
we're rounding. We're after the 9 o'clock hour. So
yeah, I am. I'm getting the giveaway up here.
come on.
I had to pull the picture back up to answer the question.
Yep.
Quit yelling at me, Nico.
Got to keep you online.
You're gonna make me cry on air. I don't
Yep.
want that. Let's see. All right. And let me stop this banner here. All right. So let's see who's going to win the giveaway for the lowering bolsters. Do I get overtime after 9?
We don't get paid. We don't get paid for this either way, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, let's see what we got going here. Who is going to win?
Yeah, John, I'll do a video for you on how to take that off.
Oh, hey, Ray won. Couldn't go to a better gentleman. I thank you very much, Ray, for again taking the time to chat with me up at the Northeast Show, and send me an email, info@largescaletrains.com with your mailing info on that, and Nico will get those out to you.
Yeah, he could email me directly or email
Oh
you.
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, he could email you. I'm sorry. And I always, yours is
4trackrr@gmail.com.
at gmail.com. So if you email Nico, me, whichever, we'll get it one way. And let's see. Oh, Kyle, Nico got robbed. Well, I mean,
No, I got robbed. So Joseph, Model Railroad Technology Beyond. I'm not sure who that is.
I think I know who Joseph is talking about. I'd have to look that up. I believe he's making like some crossing gates and stuff, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. I don't know if we could reach out to him. I mean, we do reach out to other people time to time. Sometimes we get responses, sometimes we don't. So,
Yeah.
if you know them personally, they're more than welcome to reach out to us. Go to the website and send us an email. We'd be more than happy to entertain anybody that wants to come on.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know. There was one other question here. Maybe Cody can answer if he's still on.
He may be. Let's see. How well do the smoke units work with the LM4S? I can tell you when Cody does the smoke units, he's actually using the Revo relay boards for the smoke units to operate those.
Okay, so you can still do it. And then he's just controlling the relay board with the output.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You can't hook the smoke unit directly to the Rail Pro. He's using the relay boards. Let's see here.
I don't know. Do you know
Do I know who?
Ray J? I don't know who Ray J is.
Was it the Ray that just won the giveaway? I'm not sure.
I don't know. Maybe is that who? I don't know if that's who he means.
Yeah, you have to give me a little bit more than just Ray J. I'm not sure who that is.
And if that is Ray that just won the prize, we'd be more than happy to have you on. So when you're sending us an email, let us know if you want to be on the show and we can cover some of the stuff that you do.
Absolutely. And I did see this from Doug asking about if Jonathan Hughes was going to make more accessories. I haven't seen much of Jonathan Hughes lately. I believe he may have moved, or he was building a house or something. I don't think he's doing much at the moment. So I don't really have an update for you on that. We'll have to wait and see if we hear anything from him, if he's doing anything or not.
Yeah, he pulled down his website and everything, right?
Yeah. The last time I had checked, there was no website up. Let's see here.
They all said yes, and then Ray said why.
I'm not sure, Ray. Everybody was saying that you should be on the show. Yeah, and as Doug said, yeah, no website. Yeah, it's been several months now, I think, since the website went down.
I think it's been more than months. I think it's been close to a year, if not more.
Actually, now you said that, it has been a while since he was on the show. So yeah, I guess it has been longer.
Yeah, when he was on, it was still when it was you and Sean. So.
Okay.
So that was over a year ago.
All right. Well, I think that's about all we have for the show tonight. Nico, you're going to be taking a break for a little while.
Yeah, I guess some stuff situated over the summer. So
I still plan to do some live streams through the summer here. The next show, I'm not exactly sure which Sunday it's going to be, because the very last Sunday would fall on the day I'm coming back from the big train operator. So it could get moved one way or the other. I have to see. Just keep an eye on the website on largescaletrains.com. I'll update on there on the show schedule when I have more info on that. But so yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in and watching. We always like hanging out with all of you. Lots of great questions and input. So yeah.
We could get out if you want to, Russell. If you want to sponsor us on a trip out to the West Coast, we could get out there.
Yeah. Buy me some Amtrak tickets. What's that take? About a week to get out there? And I believe Dunbar's comment here was an answer to Jonathan Hughes is building a house. Yep. Yeah, because he said he talked to him a few weeks ago.
Andrew doesn't fly. You don't fly, Andrew?
No, I haven't tried it yet, and I'm I'm not looking to try it.
I'm flying tomorrow.
You're flying tomorrow? Oh
yeah.
Man. So.
All right. Thank you everybody for watching. We appreciate it.
Yep, and everybody stay out of trouble and don't do anything that Nico wouldn't do, right?
I wouldn't go that far. I do some never mind.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.